Hey there everybody, welcome back to Metroid Prime. This is Spiraling Helix. Last time we landed in the Talon overworld and came across a lot of dead ends. So we made our way to the Chozo ruins and got our missile launcher back. So now we can explore quite a few more routes, but we're going to stick to the Chozo ruins for now because it's the closest place, I guess. So let's head back on our way. Hopefully enemies don't respawn in here. Cool, okay, good. And as we make our way back, as you can see scarabs, I can just like run past them. Our best form of weaponry is still just to do this. And a lot of things that you might not think of doing is that you can just run past enemies. Like, they're not gonna really do all that much to you if you just run past them, although like these ones might. But as you can see, we have a lot more health, twice as much health as we did before, so we should be perfectly fine. Heading through here, now we can finally blast open this blast shield. And in here we have, you guessed it, more scarabs, because they're everywhere. That's a lot of health there. They drop so many items. Die, die, die. Anyway, heading in here, into this room, we have, finally, we have found the morph ball, or another morph ball. Before I go down though, as you can kind of guess, there is going to be some sort of fight. We also have some sandstone stuff around here, a purple door, some weird stuff up here, but it appears to be like active, however we can't use it till we have the spider ball, or whatever that is. But with that, heading towards the morph ball will trigger a fight with beetles everywhere. And actually I think I'll just spam my missiles. Oh, because it kills any of them nearby in a group. I never thought to do this. I always just like did this the whole time, just like run around in a circle doing this. And they drop missiles, like missile drops as well, so like I still have all my oh, one survived. I guess that one buried on the ground at the point. But now we have a big beetle. Actually, this is the plated beetle. Once I scan this one, I did scan the beetle, right? I'm pretty sure, yes, in Talon Overworld. Anyway, this is the plated beetle. Basically, the whole front of it is impervious to weapon fire. But if we strafe around it, we can. By the way, you can strafe, as you can see up there. And you do short jumps to left and right. Just charge at me. Come on. I want to shoot you in the back with a missile, because that should one-shot you. Or maybe two shots on veteran. Or normal it will one-shot, but on hyper mode it takes quite a few missiles actually. There we go. Very easily taken down. And with that we should be able to grab the morph ball. But did you drop anything good? Now you usually drop better stuff than that. Oh well, plated beetle defeated, and with that, we can now curl up into a ball. Except we actually have a casing to curl up into. Morph ball acquired! Exclamation mark, and it's actually bigger than you think in terms of, like, relative to Samus's size. It's pretty big, like, I can see Samus rolling up into a ball that easily. Although I'm sure, like, you get pretty dizzy and it would hurt. Something must be going on here. But we can roll around. However, we don't have the morph ball bombs. We can't jump at all. So let's just make our way onwards. And now we have a few options. We can go back to where we got the missile launcher. We can go back to the Talon overworld. Or we can take this upper roof. And I think now we have, yeah, the war wasps are here this time. And this one here. This war wasp, actually, I'll just destroy these hives from a distance first. If you're not locked onto anything, they don't home in on anything. But that war wasp there just killed himself somehow. For some reason, that war wasp, it's always just flying about and it will die in one hit, no matter what it is. Also, with the morph ball, you can just like go right underneath these scarabs. It's easy on these ones, but it's a lot harder with some of the other passageways. But yeah, that one dies in one hit, which is very weird, and I don't know why. Anyway, in here we have a dark room. Thankfully we have these guys, but shooting them's probably not the best idea, as it gets a bit hard to see. We have this I was gonna say we have this fountain, but again, toxic levels, don't want to run into that, because all the water around here is toxic. We have some more Chozo lore. Seems something about a meteor and a great poison has appeared. And this brings me to one of the differences across the different versions of the Metroid Prime game, and that is the logbook. Now, there aren't a few major differences apart from, like, if you're a speedrunner, then yeah, there are major differences. But if you just play the game casually like I do, then there aren't that many major differences, but one of them is the logbook. It has different names for each thing, and it seems I can go through here, although I can't seem to get across that pit of lava, and I'll take damage very quickly if I go through there. So let's not. But yeah, the logbook. You'll have some different names for a few of them. They might say a few slightly different things. We also have a missile tank in there. It's hard to see, but we can't get in there. But we do have this spider board track that we can't actually do anything with. Okay, that was close. So in here we have the Shriekbats. They can be hard to scan actually, but basically they will charge into you. One shot will take them out, so just rapid fire is good. And blast shield, take care of that. And we have a giant tree and some toxic water. Over there we have a new creature, although we can't scan it because there's a runic symbol underneath it, and it won't let us scan the creature because of it. But this guy here is a new creature we can scan. This is the Reaper Vine, sticks out of the wall. You can shoot the eye that is clearly visible there. It will retract back in. However, if you do get close enough, as I can show off with a few others coming up. By the way, if we head up here, our way is blocked thanks to these sandstone blocks that we can't break. But we do have a few runic symbols nearby. 4 runic symbols must be activated. Although we can't actually activate all of them as they go further up into the room. But the Reaper Vines, if you get close enough, they swing around violently. Well, I wonder if I can just go under them with the morph ball. I can't believe I've never tried that. Wow. Anyway, moving on. We have some pipes that shoot steam as we walk past. And in here we have a big room where we can go up and do things. If we head up, we will come across... Actually, do we come across anything we can't face? No. We can actually just head on through that way, through the top of the room, but I don't want to. I want to go this way. And although there is a door here, before I do that, if I look at my radar, there are a lot of enemies right above me, it seems. If I look, we have some Shriekbats, and if I can leave just one, then, fine, I'll leave 2. Heading in here, we have a save point. How nice of them, don't need it, at least not yet. And heading out, you can see these Shriekbats just come out of nowhere, unless, of course, you're like me and you know where they are. Let's just take care of those blast caps as we make our way through here. We will come back to that room. Scanning stuff though. Toxicity levels appear to be very close. 300 meters, that's actually not as close. Oh well. That which fouls the waters seeks the sun. We will want to remember that once we kill these Shriekbats at least. So these 2 things here. The great poison comes from Talon's core. They are referring to 2 different things. The great poison is not the fact that all the water is toxic. That's just like this thing here, like that which fouls the water. Oh, I can actually scan the water? It's toxic water, yeah. But we have a... It won't even let me scan it, but you can hear that humming. That wall looks familiar. It's made of brimstone, of course. Breaking open that gives us more missiles. And I don't actually have my notes on everything that's next to me, so I hope I'm not missing anything. But heading in through this room, I really recommend going this way first, by the way. I want to jump up these platforms. And while I can jump around and do all of that, we will see that there are some runic symbols in here as well. Oh, what was that? Roots come from over the walls. Don't know where the origin is, but again, they have been intoxicated. We also have these things which used to spout water, but no longer. Thankfully they don't. Underneath these blast caps down here, we have yet another runic symbol. It's a bit hard to see, but there we go. And then up here, Reaper Vines, let's just take care of them. Even though we can get under them with the Morph Ball, not the best idea. And as you can see, we have a gate here which needs 4 runic symbols to be scanned and activated. So we have one here, and we have one down here. Can I get this one, please? Please? There we go. Very tight there. I recommend doing that from one of the platforms a little bit further out. But now let's hammer this door open by scanning this last symbol. And heading on through here, we have what seems to be a power-up, but we also have some ions. Thankfully, they're not really doing much. This power-up is the Charge Beam. In my opinion, the second best power-up in the whole game. No, actually, scratch that. This is the best power-up in the whole game, in my opinion. And there's a shiny wall behind me. There's a shiny wall behind me. I must scan the shiny wall. But we have the Charge Beam acquired. Press and hold A to charge it. And laser eyes coming out of the walls. But before I deal with them, shiny wall. What are you about? So disaster struck suddenly. They have a meteor coming out of nowhere. I believe this is just a vision, but it brought a great corruption, a great poison, and which destroys Talon. So that is part of a prophecy they have. Our Charge Beam can take care of the ions, though, and what I recommend with the Charge Beam. So although we can't charge it all the way for a fully powerful shot, one very effective method to use against pretty much any enemy, or most enemies at least, if you just charge the beam slightly, just like that, even the slightest charge, like you don't even have to see it, but you can hear it. Charging it just slightly from that. Now, one, it makes it easier to hit objects because it's a bigger blast. Like, and no I thought Shriekbats would spawn there. But with the Charge Beam, it does hit a blast, but charging it slightly, we usually put a lot of enemies in a stun lock, so they won't attack you. We have some blast caps all over these platforms I want to be careful of, and some Shriekbats waiting to dive bomb us. But the Charge Beam can also draw in some pickups, I think the game calls them. So basically some like more health and ammo that may be floating around nearby from some enemies. Jumping up here, we have some more Shriekbats up here though. Again, the radar is very helpful to let you know. And before I head through this tunnel, again, more Shriekbats. Those guys can be really annoying. So let's head through this tunnel now. I don't think I need to grab anything else. And up there, up above, you can see there is a sandstone wall. Doesn't look like sandstone, it looks like metal. But oh well, I'll take your word for it. However, we can't even get up there yet, so no need to worry about that. More Shriekbats? Yes. There we go. And what do you say? Probably just something about, yeah, the ceiling collapsed. Thought so. Heading in here though. So we could have gone through here without the Charge Beam. I believe you get to a certain point in the game where you need the Charge Beam, but I actually... Oh, yes. So you do need the Charge Beam. It is a required item, I think. But for some reason... Oh, I did not realize there were Shriekbats there. So that's what they actually do. But for some reason, you can skip you can skip it for so long. Now, before I go onwards, I really want to scan this door. As it is a research item, it is a locked door, doing something around the room, usually killing enemies, but in this case it's some sort of puzzle. We'll unlock the door. If I head down this corridor, as you can guess, it's all flooded. So let's just head this way. This music is actually so catchy, even though it's like It's not my number one, but it's pretty close. It's in my top 5. And if we look over here, we have this giant ugly stone toad. We can't kill it, or at least not easily. If we shriek down into the morph ball, it will gobble us up. Although we can't do anything and it just spits us back out. I guess Samus doesn't taste good? I mean, I can't imagine metal tasting all that great to a stone toad. Anyway, I wonder if it's actually made out of stone. That'd be interesting. Heading in here, this looks like a suspicious dead end. I wonder what this could be. We have yet another boss fight, or a mini boss fight, I guess you could say, much like the Hive Mecha. I'm calling this a mini boss. This is the, when I can scan it, the incinerator drone. It has flamethrowers. That's pretty much it. Up there, nothing we should be worried about. And all you want to do is stay away from the fire. But you want to scan that, I think, because that will put your lock on up to that weird thing that comes up after a while. But it burns that hive occasionally, which will release barbed war wasps. Yes, another variant of them, the last of the 3. Again, these 2 are missable. You do not want to miss these. The incinerator drone, you might think, oh yeah, I'll scan that. That's a boss. Of course I'll scan that. But you might forget to do it with the war wasps. Oh, I did not realize you're up. So a fully charged shot is guaranteed to knock that down. All of these things I say about like one-shotting or doing great damage, of course, that is for veteran and normal. Hyper mode, you might need to put a little bit more firepower into it. But the barbed war wasps, they launch projectiles at you as opposed to charging at you. And there we go, burn that hive. And it can actually kill the barbed war wasps occasionally, if like they come out at a specific time. Come on. So really, I recommend for this fight, take care of the war wasps. And just, while you wait for the thing to pop up in the middle. And boom, that should be, oh, I missed. There we go, that is it, the incinerator drone. For some reason that kills all the things nearby. And on the one time it manages to completely burn the hive, it somehow also just blows up. This is all very coincidental. This is actually an even better time to get a good scan of locked door. But if we scan this, if we scan this, we get the Morph Ball Bomb, which in the Metroid Prime trilogy, which was released for the Wii and Wii U Virtual Console, this includes the ability to spring jump. So, an ability called the Spring Ball, although it's not technically a thing, if I flick the Wii remote up, Samus will jump, and we will see a little bit later that this is actually way better than bomb. Like, bomb jumping is what you had to do, you just, I didn't mean to jump there, but bomb jumping, you just like, hit jump. Can you jump with the nunchuck? No, you can't. But destroying that sandstone wall, even though I didn't say it, sandstone can be destroyed by the Morph Ball bombs. But heading back there, there is a missile tank. I actually thought that would be an energy tank, which gives us more health. But, oh well, let's make our way onwards through these tunnels. Doobie-doobie-doo. And now we can destroy the stone toad from the inside. Oh, bleh. I don't know what. That's the sound of a stone toad being destroyed from the inside. Anyway, we have some power nodes here, and scanning this is the first time we've actually come across it. This is a standard Morph Ball slot. So what we do with the Morph Ball, we jump into it, we use a bomb, it activates something, usually linked to some form of, I'd say puzzle very loosely, but you interact with the environment. Let's put it that way. So activating that first one will drain the water, but these platforms are inactive, so I think we should do so with those. So scanning this should activate some of the platforms at least. Yes. Up they go, so very, very slowly. And if you couldn't tell, that ticking, well, we are on a timer. It's not much of one, but you shouldn't have to worry too much. And I'm not sure, like, Now, we're safe from the flooded waters here, but I'm not sure if you actually have to, like, I'm pretty sure this Morph Ball slot deactivates, actually. Actually, no, because then you'd be soft locked in this place if the water floods back up. So no. But activating that last one unlocks the door and raises those last 2 platforms, which lets us head out. And the puzzle music, it's pretty cool actually, I kind of like it. And these guys shouldn't be away with us, those Shriekbats. Yep. And we have some hot coals beneath, or some lava beneath us for some reason. And we have a spider ball track we can't go through. Thankfully there is a tunnel we can make our way through. Spider balls going along that top part. If we head in here though, we are literally inside of a furnace. Thankfully it has some health, and apparently it's not too hot to do damage to us. But we are inside of a furnace. Quite literally, the whole room is called furnace actually, but the little bit we're in now is a furnace. Now we can't really do much else around a lot of this area. As you can see, there is a room here we can now access. Although, trust me, there's no point in doing that, because then you need Spider Ball to get something else in there. Nothing important in there anyway. Still can't access those rooms or these ones. So I guess it's just this area we can now access. So next time, we will explore this last chunk of the Chozo ruins. And then maybe we actually find out and find a new place in this world, because we've been in the Chozo ruins for quite a bit. Maybe we will even return to the Talon overworld. No, we're not going to do that. So, next time we finish off what we can in the Chozo ruins and maybe head off to a new place. See you guys next time. This has been Spiraling Helix. Bye bye.